are those people that have Joker's smile and long beard. So welcome guys to this new episode, and today we're gonna talk about Ainu. People indigenous, technically we don't know exactly where, because right now we consider them indigenous of Japan. In reality, those are people that, and Ainu means people, is the term they use to refer to themselves. In reality, I was saying, they're not originally from Japan. The theories are two. Having established that their origin is older than ancient Sumerians, so they have descendants that can be traced back to 15,000 years ago. There are two main theories that concern the origins of Ainu. The mythology says that they fought an ancestral tribe, an ancestral population known with the term of Edzoki, which means barbarians. But we do know that there are two main theories. One saying that they are coming from the south being Polynesia, right? And that is mostly because of the tattoos and because of some customs that they share with people in Polynesia. And the other tradition says, or the other line of thoughts, thread of thoughts, says that they are coming from the Arctic Circle. So we exactly are not very clear on their origins, but they are very peculiar. So their history is of a very much persecuted tribe. First, persecuted and kicked out of Russia. Specifically kicked out of Russia and forced to emigrate towards Japan because they would not conform to the laws in Russia. They never had a last name, though some of them picked a Russian last name. They were individuated, spotted, and then made the scapegoat of the Russian government and the right hand of the Russian government that made sure they would be kicked out of Russia was the precursor of the so-called KGB, meaning NKVD. Now, most of them, therefore, emigrated towards Japan. There, they traditionally lived in houses that take the name of Khotan. There are permanent villages with a central earth, and this is interesting. There is a window in this type of houses. There is a window that faces north. We're gonna go back because this is connected to a huge belief in their culture. But anyway, they settled there. They were mostly hunters, not really farmers. Some of them fishermen. And started trading with China. Specifically, the trade was consisting in giving to China dried fish and fur, and getting in exchange brocade, coins, and pipes. And eventually a second round of this trade consisted in China giving them iron and sake. So that was how Ainu survived, because they were isolated not only from the Russian official government but also from the Japanese one. They became very much persecuted, emigrated to the north of the island, pretty much deserted before their arrival, and still things did not change because the governments want assimilations. They do not tolerate, independence of tribes. And that is the history of Ainu. Persecuted from Russia and persecuted from Japan. Their traditions are quite peculiar. Two are the main important ones. Men have long beards. This is not excessively uncommon in tribes. It's ritualistic to have long beards. But the other probably most important tradition to have is that concerns women. I said they have, in reality I should say they used to have, because also this tradition was prohibited by the Japanese government. So the last woman who did that, I think, can be traced back to 1988. Anyway, for women, they had the Joker's smile. What does that mean? Somebody would pick a knife, probably a knife used for ceremonies, ritualistic ceremonies, and cut just right above the upper lip in a way to augment the smile. Then, once the scarification was basically done and repeated in the course of time, they would apply ash to repair the wound, and that would create this bizarre smile. I'm saying bizarre, in reference to our tradition, this bizarre Joker's smile that women had, where like basically the lips and especially the above part, so the above the upper lip would be extremely increased in size. Now, this was one tradition. Another one, which is quite fascinating, is their identification with the bear. Alright, so here we are not entirely sure, meaning some support the idea that they identify actually with a bear, and therefore they see the bear as their ultimate ancestor, and that is why they pay so much regards to bears. The second one, which seems, to be possibly also encompassed in the first one, is that obviously to survive in that kind of land that doesn't allow you to farm that much, you need meat, and the meat that is mostly available is that of bears. But there's, in populations, in tribes, there are in deep contact with nature, in a deep relationship, there's an animistic culture that develops where you are extremely grateful for the sacrifices of an animal that allows you to survive, and therefore they possibly might have identified with bears, but we do know that they had, and they still, I think, do have specific rituals that have to do with bears, and especially rituals that would be put in place once the bear is killed. For instance, I was telling you that the window that faces up north is a window that is traditionally built that way to appreciate the arrival of the bear. And there are other traditions concerning that. For instance, that the hunter is the last one who is going to eat the meat, and the eyes of the bear are going to be hanging, outside of his door for many days, which I don't know. I don't think I would enjoy that, but it is a tradition. Likewise, there's a whole procedure to basically skin the bear and not kill it, but dissect the meat so that everybody can eat. Now, without being too gross about it, right, it's interesting how we do know very little about Ainu, how they still nowadays are being emarginated from the society, so much so that they have a rare blood type that is mostly AB, and therefore for that reason Japanese tend to ask their partners what blood type they have, because any descendants from the Ainu tribe is considered as a negative sign. It is interesting how we have allowed them, and we do allow all of that, right? I mean, I'm certainly not Japanese, but it is interesting how societies have, over the course of time, if you look back at the history, we all have imagined certain communities out of specific traditions or out of political ideology that wants to make them scapegoats. Therefore, this video was dedicated to the Ainu people. Now, guys, with that being said, that is all. So we're gonna talk another time in a new episode. In the meantime, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll talk some more next time. Bye!